Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Amy.
And Chef Paul.
Say hi, Amy.
Hi.
So today we're doing a video on butter chicken poutine. Yesterday at school, or at class for my new job, everybody in the call center for breakfast went down and got some butter chicken poutine from a local cafe. It's a South Indian cafe. They serve most Canadian breakfast stuff and lunches, but they also serve a nice hefty selection of South Indian dishes as well. Really good stuff, and it looked really amazing. I think I can do better. Do you think I can do better?
Yes.
I think I can. It's healthy, it's easy, it's really not that hard, and it's a good take on Canadian cuisine. So please hit that share, like, subscribe button and try it out. Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Paul. With me is Chef Amy.
Hi.
Alex is at work today. He had to work super early, so unfortunately he won't be joining us today. So we're going to be making something that tortured me yesterday. Yesterday at work, we have a little cafeteria. It's an Indian cafeteria. They do normalized Canadian breakfast type stuff, normal Canadian lunch stuff, but they also sell South Indian dishes, and a lot of it. And one of the things that blew me away is a bunch of people went downstairs for breakfast and got a kind of Indian Canadian fusion dish, which was butter chicken poutine. It looked good, smelled good, but can't help to think I can do better. So first of all, we got chicken breast. This is what I have, and this is what we're going to use. Ideally, I would prefer to use something like, say, chicken thighs, because chicken thighs are a little bit more fatty, have a little bit more flavor. Fat equals flavor, so I mean, I'm not saying we should go completely fat, but a little bit, it's not going to kill you. So I'm going to cut these up here, and we're going to cut them up into cubes. This is going to have two different marinades. And the first one we're going to set for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to do the other marinade, and it's going to sit all day. So it's going to be a little spicy, not too hot. Spicy enough that I'm going to be able to notice it, but not yet, burn my mouth out. Our roommate's actually from India, believe it or not. And I'm kind of scared because she's a really good cook, and, and I know I probably end up saying this a lot to a lot of people, but she's technically one of my favorite Indian cooks. She naturally doesn't cook super hot. She cooks kind of mild, so I can actually enjoy her dishes. And every single thing she's made has been gold. So, Kaya, if you're listening somewheres, I hope I don't disappoint you or make this into garbage compared to yours. And it's kind of hard because Amy will sit and tell you her butter chicken is
phenomenal.
Just, yeah. When I get rich and take over the world, she's going to be my private cook. So Terho, this is an excellent recipe to learn, man, because this can be as spicy as you want, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. It's not at all hard. It's not challenging. It's actually really easy. We want to where poutine is something that's kind of a it's a French fry dish, really. but where we're going to make this more of an Indo-Canadian type thing, we're going to have to do a little bit of prep work for this. So you want your chicken to be cubed because it's got to be a little bit more bite-sized. Now, when I say this, guys, you can cut this thinner if you want. It's not going to be a big deal. You can take the time and cut all the fat. That's not a big deal either.
But there's no fat on ours.
Not really. There's a little bit, but I mean, you want the flavor. You can certainly add more or less spice to this to make this a little bit more hotter. There's certain spices, and I'll tell you what they are, that you can totally leave out or go smaller on if you don't want any spice at all. One fun fact I'll tell you is that a lot of people assume that just because you're talking about an Indian dish, that means it's going to be extremely hot for everyone. And I need a bigger bowl.
Okay.
That's not going to be. That's a bad misconception. That one. We may not have a choice here. You know what? No, I can't.
We had the bigger one back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, use that.
I'm just thinking about room in the fridge.
Oh, I'll make room.
So I'm just going to take a moment and I'm going to wash my hands. Why? Because that's raw chicken. And immediately the cutting board is going into this. We're going to have to do dishes because we're going to need that cutting board again.
Yeah.
Alright, good enough. So first of all, we're going to take some lemon juice. I'm not saying that you have to go out and buy a whole lemon for this. You don't. Got a few squeezes of that. It'll help break the meat down a little bit, help give it a little bit more flavor. Then I'm going to grab a small spoon. And Amy's tooting.
Do you need me to open it?
Yes. So Miss Muscle over here is going to open that. There we go.
I think you had it.
Open that for me. Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to hand the phone back to Amy here. I'm going to take about 2 spoonfuls of ginger paste. Now, you can, by all means, you can totally buy fresh ginger. You can grate it and get it down if you want. You don't need to. I prefer just buying the paste because it's technically does end up cheaper, and it does the same thing. And it's cheaper. The work's already done. You know, why reinvent the wheel and take all your time doing that? This is not a necessary one, but I'm using cardamom. Why? Because I like cardamom. That's for later. And then we got our chili powder. Now this is a spice. It's not, I don't find it to be hot. But if you don't want any heat whatsoever or you really react to this, then don't leave it out. That go in later. I'm going to use a little bit of onion powder. Why? Because I can. And I'm going to use a little bit of red pepper flake. Why? Because I can. It's almost gone anyway, so
yeah.
might as well just use it up. And then a little bit of salt. I'm using something called low salt because it is better for you. And some black pepper. Doesn't seem like it's that hard, and I hate to tell you, it isn't.
No.
So we're going to give this a good start and make everything all mixed up. Then we're going to set this covered in the fridge for 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do marinade number 2. But it's important to let this stuff sit for 20 minutes. It's important to have this covered in the chicken because this is what gives what's going to give your butter chicken flavor. When you go to make your poutine, you want to make sure that you're actually getting good flavor. There's nothing in here that's too crazy. If you're going to use real salt, go light on it. Like seriously, go light.
Yeah.
Because all these other spices, like if you're getting this in India, you'd probably be able to get this all fresh and you'd have to ground it, and you're not going to put any salt in it. But we're not getting this in India, we're getting this in Canada. And unfortunately, for us to keep our spices fresh, they have to use some kind of substance to keep it fresh for us so it doesn't go bad on us in a second. So that's why a lot of ours include a lot of sodium. So don't go crazy on it. My recommendation, go to Amazon, go somewhere else, find no salt or low salt. It's a much better alternative. It's much better for you, and it'll do really, really good. So, it is a little pricier, but you're going to pay for the quality, and that's all there is to it. So, put this in the fridge, let it sit for 20 minutes. Please like, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody, and we'll be back in 20 minutes. Welcome back. So it's been over 20 minutes. It's been in the fridge. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil. We don't need a whole lot of it, just a little bit. And then we're going to put some yogurt. Now, it's basically Greek yogurt. It's going to look a little bit different, but yeah, it's still Greek yogurt. Not made in Greece or anything like that, but I don't understand the concept of halal yogurt. If somebody else can explain it to me, I'll be happy. I'm going to put enough in there. We're obviously going to put this back in the fridge because we don't need it no more. And then I'm going to put some turmeric. Now, to those of us who suffer with arthritis, turmeric is probably one of the best things you'll ever have. It really, honest to God, is. Turmeric is awesome because it really helps with your inflammation, your joints. If you're sore from anything, this is going to fix it. And then we got some garam masala. Some recipes do not use this, and I don't know why, but to be honest with you, it's one of the most important spices you can have. Don't ask me exactly what it is. I don't know.
Greek spice or
Indian spice.
Indian spice of some kind.
Yeah. But it's a very important thing to have. And then I'm going to use some fennel seeds. Someone told me this is what a lot of people put in, so never heard of it, but you know what? Let's try it. One of the beautiful things about Indian food is it has a lot of marriage of different spices to it. So now the rest of the marinade that we're going to use in this, no less than 20 minutes. We're not going to be making this until much later in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's only morning here now.
Yeah, so we're not eating this for a while. So I'm going to leave this for a couple hours. It will set. Now, just a fair word of warning. If you put the extra spice in, Terho, if you really added hot spices and you're going to let this sit for a couple hours,
It's going to be hot.
it's going to be hot. So you'll be happy with that. Those of you whose name don't begin with Amy or Terho, just be careful because you really can make this super, super hot, and not everybody really wants to.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. So make sure you give this a good stir. And again, we're going to put this in the fridge no less than 20 minutes. So you're making this close to supper time, you're getting ready to make this, go for it. 20 minutes for the first marinade, 20 minutes for the second. That's basically it. So that's basically it.
For now.
Looks really good to me. So we're going to put this back in the fridge and we'll be back later. Welcome back. So we've been marinating that for hours. You can actually leave that sitting for 24 hours. Now you're going to see on here I got a baking tray, some parchment paper, and this is our chicken with the marinade. Now the trick is when we make the sauce, when we make the butter chicken part of it at least, we want to make sure that the chicken is juicy and soft. We don't want hard, rough chicken, we want it soft. So what we're doing is we're going to bake it for 15 to 20 minutes on 350 degrees. Now when this is done, you want to test to make sure it's cooked. Like, you can physically actually cook it with the butter chicken. That's not a big deal. But at this point, what we want to do is we want to make sure that it is cooked. You can choose to leave it a little undercooked and let it cook with this. However, with that being said, if you do that, it's going to run the risk of overcooking, being a little tougher, not being as juicy. And you're going to have to let it cook a little longer. We don't want to do that. Normally in butter chicken, you want to reduce your tomato base into more of a paste. Where this is going to be poutine, we don't want that. What we actually want is for that chicken to be already cooked, and we want our tomato not to reduce at all, because that's going to be poured over the potatoes. So we want it to be really saucy. So if we reduce it too much, yes, it's not going to be exactly perfect butter chicken, because it's not. It's not going to be. And that's perfectly fine. But we are going to try to make it still keep a lot of its flavor and everything else. So let's get that done. Set it for about 15, 20 minutes. Making sure it's fully cooked, take it out, and let's cool it down for a while, and we're good to go, and we'll be back in a bit. Welcome back. So Amy's getting a little hungry. You can tell she's getting a little grumpy. Not really.
No.
But we've got our chicken done. It's been sitting out a little bit, and it's ready to go in its little bath. But we got to start running some water. Not really water. So I've got my pan already starting to heat up here a little bit, because there's nothing like waiting for things to heat up. So we've got some oil on here, and I'm just going to spread it around. And what we're going to do here first is we're going to start with some onion. You don't need a whole lot of it. It's not an onion heavy dish. It does not need a lot of onion. So whatever anybody tells you, it just doesn't. And I actually forgot one major ingredient that we absolutely positively have to have. And I know we have it, so it's not like we have to wonder if we have it or not. I know we do. It's just a matter of finding it. Bear with me, guys, one moment. And we not actually have it, but I thought we did. But we're going to let this melt down a little bit. Just enough to sweat that out. So while I'm sitting here looking around for something, it's probably not even here. Nothing like making a big mess in the kitchen that your lovely wife has spent a lot of time cleaning. But on the positive end, I found some stuff that I didn't realize we had as well. And we don't have it. Oh well, not a big deal. We're not going to be using coconut milk today. If you have it, it's good to have, but not necessary. It's just a nice little added flavor. Okay, so that's going in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start adding some tomatoes. Now you can use fresh tomatoes, but Amy's going to tell you very fast not to. And here's the reason why. Now in India, they probably have things run way differently than we do here. But here in Canada and the United States as well, we have one little problem. And that's when they take the onion or the tomatoes out of the fields and they start to get them ready for consumers. What they do to make those tomatoes look fresh and make them actually look presentable to you when you go to the grocery store is they put certain chemicals in them and suck certain nutrients out. And what that does, it makes them look better and makes them stay that appearance a little longer. So when you're putting this in here, you're going to take a moment and you're just going to stir this around. And this is a dish that you really want to keep stirring. Now, this is butter chicken, so we're going to put some butter in here. Without splashing all over the place. Because you're going to have to clean this later and that's not good. Sorry, Amy.
It's all good.
So you're just going to keep stirring this a while. You want to make sure that butter melts and gets stirred in properly. We're going to add in a little bit of rice vinegar. You can use a lot of different types of it. I like using a little bit of rice. And like we said before, this is not an authentic Indian dish because Indians don't have poutine in India. It's a Canadian thing. Some people add sugar. We don't. We're going to use a little bit of honey just to give it a little bit of sweetness to it. If you have to add sugar, try replacing with honey. So back to when you add a few things, make sure you come back and you stir it in. But back to tomatoes. If you want really fresh tomatoes, buy canned. It comes out richer, it comes out much better, and it's going to go really well. So I got some garam masala spice. You can get this at most grocery stores or even Walmart. I refuse to call Walmart a grocery store. They don't deserve that distinction. But they sell everything, but you can get a lot there. We've got some chili powder. And like I said earlier, if you got people who really do not like spice, be careful how much you put in. They're not going to appreciate it. They're really not. I'm not a big spice person myself. I like a little bit, not a lot. Chili powder isn't that hot to me.
Yeah.
But some people, my mother would curse me out right now if I fed this to her. She absolutely cannot handle this. This is too much for her. Now we're not gonna heat this down to the point where it's going to be reduced into a what do they say, to tomato paste. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you why. This is gravy, basically, and I want my gravy to be, I want a lot of it because it's going to be poured right onto the poutine. Now at this point, you can get your fries out. You can start baking them, put them in an air fryer. I'm going to tell you not to. I'm going to be the one to tell you not to deep fry because that's just nasty. We don't want that. You don't need that. Amy and I, we don't eat that. We never have. I don't think growing up, Amy ever had access to it. I don't think her parents ever did that. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. Good, nice hefty spoon of garlic paste. Garlic paste is really good. If you're one of those people who don't like it, you don't have to add it, but you know what? You should really get into the idea of doing it because honestly, it's good. It's good for you. You know, like you have to start eating things that are really, really good for you. I'm gonna put a little bit of turmeric. Like I said, tarot, this is one of the most important things you can ever have, especially if you're diabetic or you have arthritis. You have any health issues whatsoever, turmeric is a godsend for that. I do like a little bit of salt, but only because it's low salt and it's barely anything. Like I said, this is not going to be 100% perfect, authentic Indian. I'm trying my best. It will not be perfect, and if you're Indian, you see this and you're offended because you think that I'm missing something, you can tell me if I'm missing something, if you feel that way. I like to hear some constructive criticism, but keep in mind I've also said that I can't make it perfectly authentic because I need to have a lot more of it, because it is going to be the gravy for poutine, which is a Canadian thing, so I have to find a way to put some juice on here. Now this is some cashews. I think that should be enough.
Yeah, it should be.
We're going to stir this in here, and we're going to let this simmer for a few minutes, because this needs to get nice and soft. I'm going to keep you here because what we're going to do in a few minutes, we're going to put this into a blender, make this into a really nice puree. I don't think I need the food processor for that, but
No.
don't think I should need to. If you get everything nice and soft, it will go into a blender fine without issue. It's a little messy at times, but that's why we have Amy.
No.
I'm trying to get Amy laughing, if you guys can tell. I'll say a lot of stuff to get Amy going, and I do mean a lot of stuff, but I don't really mean it. Like, Amy's wonderful. Like, one of my favorite jokes, and I read this online. I can't believe somebody actually said this and didn't expect to get slapped, but they're just jokes. Like, why does a bride wear white? Or to match kitchen appliances. Oh, we just got married, and I got 2 dishwashers. Dishwasher 1 and dishwasher 2. So I had Amy. I take turns doing dishes too, by the way. Do I not?
Yes.
I like to tease Amy, and she likes to tease me. It's just unfortunate that I'm the one on the camera, so you hear mine. Amy's amazing, she really is. If you can't have a little bit of fun, then... But one of the reasons I'm making this, and I get knocked on this quite a bit from Amy, because honestly, 90% of everything I make here is actually for her. It's stuff that I know she's going to really like. Sometimes I'll make stuff for me. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. And that's fine. This, I like to think, is a dish for both of us. I think Amy's really, really going to dig this. I think she's really, really going to enjoy this a lot. I'm also really looking forward to it as well. Now, you want to get everything nice and soft. Cashews should take a little bit longer. It doesn't take too long. At this point, you already want your fries to be in and doing this. I'm not going to film making fries. We got a really cheap bag of fries from our grocery store, so we're going to use that up. And here's the next part. Now, if you're from Quebec, Canada, please forgive me for this. When you're making traditional poutine, you should be using cheese curds. Cheese curds, sorry. That's what it's meant to be. Now, where this is going to be buttered chicken poutine, I'm not going to use cheese curds. I'm going to be using regular cheese. We're going to have that all grated up. And so, past this, the 2 things that you need to be worried about right now, and I'm not going to show you doing them. You can make your own fries. You can take some potatoes, you can cut them up, soak them for 30 minutes, dry them, then bake them. You'll make super crisp fries. Don't add salt at all until you're done. You can do that. Like seriously, but you can do that, or you can buy fries like we did. Not a big deal. And have your cheese grated. If you want to go out and get cheese curds, hey, be my guest. It's your kitchen. It's totally up to you. I'm not gonna sit and make fun of you for it. Amy's not gonna make fun of you for it. It's your choice. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off the heat for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this soup ladle, I think that's what it's called, and I'm going to start pouring this in here. And you will get a little bit of a mess, unfortunately.
You should do it over the sink.
I'm going to do it right here, actually. I think this should work. Now, if you get crushed tomatoes, and I don't think we got quite the right ones, but it's not a big deal, it worked just fine. This means a little bit more work on this, which, is not a big deal. but there's still other things like your onions that need to go through this. So okay, so that's enough for now. So I'm going to come over here, and please forgive the noise for a few moments. This is going to get a little loud. You need to make sure you do this. Absolutely important. Because you don't need a huge mess of stuff splattering around, and believe me, it will. Alright, so... Alright, so that is nice and smooth. How does that look, Amy?
Good.
Does that look nice and smooth to you?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got to make 2 runs in this, so I just can't put this right back in the pan the way I want to. Not a big deal. But one of the reasons it's called butter chicken is it's got a butter-like consistency. Now, we come over here, we look at this. That's nice and smooth, don't you think?
Yeah.
So that's the way it should be. So we're going to come back and we're just going to build a second one here, and should only need 2 runs, shouldn't need anything else. Now if you were going to serve it just like this and not put any fries and not do the poutine bit, that's fine too. You don't have to. But what you can do is serve it with rice. You can do it with that special bread, the naan bread. There's also recipes online for that. We have some recipes online for that. You can get lots of that on there, so it's not a big deal. And like I said, number one thing, make sure that you have that cover on before you put it back on there, or you're going to make a huge mess and Amy's going to get mad.
No.
You probably would. And you know what? She'd be right to be. She really would be. I mean, you can't sit and tell me that you have a right to be mad after, you know, somebody does something like that that knows better. Alright, so nice and smooth again. So now at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back over the stove. We're not going to start cooking it now, because now we need to grate some cheese. We need to make sure that our fries are done, because we can't make poutine without that. That'd be heretical, and that would just be an awful thing to do. But when we're closer to being done, we're going to come out and we're going to heat this up a little bit, and then we're going to serve it. So Amy, open up. How's that taste?
Excellent.
Yeah, I like this. So I'm just going to take this, because Amy's going to have a little bit of a job to clean. She just loves cleaning. But like I said, I mean, like your wives or your husbands won't be too fond to clean up a mess that was made that wasn't necessary to do. You didn't need to do it. You shouldn't have done it. Well, guess what? They have every right to be mad. So please hit the like, share, subscribe button. We're going to work on the cheese and potatoes now. Once that's done, we're going to come back and we'll share the results. Welcome back. So before we go any further, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. It really means a lot for us. One little click for you means a big hurrah for us. We don't get paid for this. We don't ask for donations. Now, if you're interested, you can always let us know. We'll gladly accept it. Any help does actually help us. But you clicking that like, share, and subscribe really does mean a lot to us. All right, so everything's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm turning the oven back on here, and I'm just going to start heating up the gravy a little bit just because it needs to. Fries are done. I've taken a bowl, 2 bowls actually, and put a little bit of fries in. And of course we got our chicken in.
It was an all-day endeavor.
It was. And honestly, we could have made this really, really quick. It doesn't take a lot. It's just really super easy. I make things look like it takes a lot longer because I'm doing step by step for you so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. You know exactly what's being done. Number one, those fries could have been in, and by the time I'm working on the fries, I could have had the chicken on another rack. We could have had both of them done together and then throw this together. It probably shouldn't take you any more than maybe 20-25 minutes, and that's cooking time. This probably a couple minutes at the most. It doesn't take a lot. When you stop and you think about it, it's actually a really, really quick recipe. It doesn't take a lot. You think it does, but in reality, it's actually pretty quick. It does not take a whole lot. You just need to make sure that you're taking the time to cook everything through. I mean, chicken, that's
Very important.
You need to make sure that's cooked. If you don't, someone's going to get sick, and that's not cool. Okay, so that's heated up good enough, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to come over here, and we don't want to go too crazy with chicken. We don't need a lot. A lot of this is going to go back into the fridge, and
It'll be for another day.
Be for another meal.
Yeah.
A little bit more fries. No, I had actually meant to actually do this one at a time, but whatever. See now how I, cut the chicken up so thin?
It's bite-sized.
It's bite-sized, right? You don't really want a whole lot on there.
No.
Some more fries. Now, on this, I'm going to start putting a little bit of cheese on here.
It's cheddar jalapeno. That's what we chose.
Yep, and you don't have to go with what we chose.
No.
You really don't. You can choose to go another route if you want.
But we like that kind.
This is what we like. If you want, legitimate poutine is made with cheese curds.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody else tries to tell you, you can have it whatever way you want. Not a big deal. However, with that being said, it is your choice.
Yeah.
But, and no one's going to make fun of you, but if you're talking to a Quebecer and you start talking to them about the poutine you just made yesterday, and you tell them that you made it with cheddar or something, they're probably going to tell you off.
Yep. They will.
And they will. Like that.
Easily.
You think I'm joking, and
no.
Honestly, I'm really not. Like, they really will tell you
They
off.
will.
Poutine is a Quebec thing. It actually comes right out of Montreal. I believe Montreal or somewhere close to
I think so, yeah.
But it is a Quebec Canadian thing. It's their thing, and they're very proud of it. So this is what it's for. Yeah, you can put that back on the top there.
Okay. We need forks.
Don't worry about that right now.
Okay.
So this is our poutine. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Let us know what you think. Just take your porks, stir through, and you're good. So thank you for visiting Poul's Kitchen. We really appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later.